Smarks in here, the Smarks in here, yeah.
I walk into a room, boom, 5 moves of doom. I reference Cena so much, I'm sure you assume that I got a man crush, but I swear it's just random, not fandom. Ignore the lifelike mannequin. You can't see it. I didn't see it. Next to me in my Kia, and drive somewhere scenic to watch the sunset in Phoenix. Share a box of Kleenex, then leave it in the middle of a bee's nest.
Yo, 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 it's your boy, Sean Puff. I'm joined, of course, by my co-host, El Wapo.
What's up? What's up?
And this is Smarks, Spotmonkeys, and SuperKicks.
Boy, you get high, you break the sound barrier. You go like Mach 17 or something.
What up, yo?
Hi, it's just another week, man. Just another week.
Oh, man. Shout out to Eric Stevens. I was going to make sure I get it audio because I know it plays. And if you're watching live, right, if you're on Spotify or wherever you're listening to podcasts and you're listening to this, you don't get to see. We've got a video entrance and credits at the back end. And Eric Stevens gets his props on YouTube. But I got to give a shout out to Eric Stevens, Megaran, for our theme song, Smarks. I love that song. That song bumps, right?
Hey, it always gets me going every time. I'm just catch myself going like this the whole time.
When I found it, I was just like, I just came across it one day and I was like, yo, this is dope. This is a great theme song for my show. So I I reached out and I hit up Megaran first because he was easier to find on Twitter.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, I don't care, but it's not my song. You got to talk to Eric. If Eric says it's cool, I'm cool with it. I think that's kind of dope.
Right.
And then I reached out to Eric and he was like, really? That's dope. Yeah, just give me shout me out for it. And because I was like, what do you want for it? He's like, nah, whatever. Just it's cool that you want to use my song for the theme song of your wrestling podcast. So, and he just shout me out. And it's been my theme song since then.
Awesome.
We've taken hiatuses and not been on for a while, but I come back and I always come back to that because it just fits the show.
It does. It gets, like I said, it gets me hyped. Then like I said, you go into that, and you just disappear, and we all know, but I mean, I'm always like, no matter how bad the episode is, which the episode's not bad. I'm talking about the topics being bad.
Yeah, well, that's the fun part of it, though. For me, is sometimes we get good shit, sometimes we get bad shit, and sometimes we remember things that are bad that are good, and sometimes we remember things that were good that really weren't that good. So.
Right, exactly, and that's why we go and rewind it and watch it again, because do I really still like this thing that I liked when I was a kid and pop now? A lot of times, 90% of the times, it's probably not. So,
right. You're like, oh, I like that as a kid, man. I was a dumb kid, huh? Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, listen. Sometimes I like to shameless self promote since it's my show. If you want to go read some cool shit, go to geekshavegame.com. There's a plug for a site I used to write for, and look for Flashback Fridays. I would legitimately go back. I had a list. I have a list somewhere. I still have it somewhere of pay-per-views that were historically not great. And it's from the time period where we talk about how great it was.
Right.
And I go back and I watch it with today's eyes and break it down, like the amount of fuck finishes and stupid shit that happens and comedy gimmicks and the stuff that we hate now that we're like, oh, this is so horrible. When I was younger, it wasn't like this. Yeah, it was. We just weren't mature enough to recognize it and notice it, but that shit was the same. They were doing all the same things back then, and it's funny to see it and point it out. I mean, look at the last show that we watched. I think there was like 2 matches that finished clean.
Right. Oh, yeah. I mean, and I think, like I said, I think it was more like a protective. It was more like, hey, I don't want to go over, brother. That don't work for me, brother. Then we'll do this way.
Too, right?
Yeah.
Right?
So, but like you said about a lot of crappy finishers or crappy matches, it's really a point of what we like. You know what I mean? It's our opinion. What you probably don't like, I probably think is one of the best matches ever. So it's merely just like, you know, what.
Well, that's true, right? Because
Yeah,
a lot of it is how we feel, right? It's all. I might hate something. I mean, there's wrestlers that I hate. People are like, what? You hate that guy?
Why?
Yeah, I just don't like him.
Or people that you
Edge.
like, you're like, why?
Edge. I don't like Edge.
See, and that's controversial because Edge is, to me, as far as one of the best as far as it comes to entertainers, because when he enters a room, he pops it. So for you not to like somebody like that, there's got to be something he did to you personally for you not to like him.
I don't know. Listen, I come from an era of giants.
Right.
And he was like the beginning of this era of the vanilla midgets that are just tiny and they do advanced acrobatics.
But he's over 6 feet tall.
I know, but he's not like a big. He's not like a muscle.
I get what you're saying. You like big meaty men with big meat just crashing on each other. I get it.
That's the wrestling I grew up on, and whatever. That's what I like.
Which interests me that you chose this topic today, since you like such big meaty men.
Well, because a good match is a good match, right? And this match to me was ahead of its time. And that's why. So we were just talking about how we watch so many bad things, and I feel like that's why we close out the cycle. So if you're watching or listening for the first time, we have a cycle where it's always every 4 weeks we've got a different. Next week is controversy analysis, where we're going to take a controversial topic. We do a review, a rewind when we watch a whole show. Then we do case files where we find one specific thing and we just break that whole thing down. This week is Forgotten Gems. It's a match that was great that kind of gets forgotten for whatever reason. And
we know the reason, but we'll get to that later.
Right. No, we can get into that.
We get it right now.
We're talking about today. This, I believe, it opened Bash of the Beach 1996. It was Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Psychosis, and it's one of the first lucha matches in WCW.
And it was a hell of a match.
It was a banger, and we're gonna get into all of that and how it stands up to today, because I think it does. I think when you look at this match and you look at today's, a lot of the times you look at high flyers from back then, and you're like, oh, it was good. Like we just watched Randy Savage, Ricky Steamboat from WrestleMania 3, and we talked about how it doesn't really stand up to today if you put it against workers today, even as a work rate match, right? This match, I think, is the exact opposite. It's a match from 1996 that you can put in today, and it still stands strong as a top match.
Oh yeah, and Psychosis. I mean, he was miles taller than Rey Mysterio, and for him to do stuff like that was just incredible. I mean, he was incredible. And
they worked so well together, but
he was a big dude too.
It was overshadowed, and it's a forgotten gem because this night was such a more controversial and pivotal. Man. I think I still have I got work done on my mouth today, and I'm like I still have a little bit of the remnants from the Novocaine. But this was a big night. Bash of the Beach 1996.
Right.
This was the NWO versus, well, not even the NWO yet, right? They were still the Outsiders. It was
Outsiders versus WCW.
Yep. And they were taking on the team of Sting, Randy Savage, and Lex Luger. And this was the night that Hulk Hogan was the third man and had the biggest heel turn in wrestling history.
Right. And let's be honest, there's a lot of people even like, that's why you do this Forgetting Gems, because how many people actually remember those matches that
Nobody
day?
remembers anything from that show except that.
Exactly. and you can talk to anybody and they'd be like, oh, was it the time that Hulk Hogan turned heel? Or was it the time that the third man, he was in NWO? Yeah, nobody remembers that particular event, because that event was basically, you could put it as the paper would name it NWO or something, or when that first happened, I was outside when it first happened. That
night overshadowed everything else on that one point. Overshadowed everything on the card. It overshadowed so much because it's, when you look at that night in wrestling history, Hulk Hogan then was like John Cena now.
Exactly. And you notice that the John Cena turn didn't go as planned as that Hulk Hogan turn. So I mean, Hulk Hogan, think about it. A guy that bled red and yellow, a guy that fought against the Iron Sheik, against other, really considered bad guys
He
turning.
fought every
heel.
bad guy.
Yeah, he was the Captain America of the wrestling industry, and for him to turn heel, that's kind of like you're like, holy shit, you know what I'm saying? So it was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was good. It was really, really good. It's a night that you'll always remember, like trash thrown in the ring.
Oh yeah,
it was like I remember watching it live and just being like in shock, not even knowing what to think that Hulk Hogan was turning heel. Even though Bobby Heenan kind of gave it away. I don't know if you remember that part.
Yeah, but
he did, but he didn't. You had to like really be paying attention to get what he said.
Yeah, and here's the thing about that.
Hogan comes out and he's like, "Whose side is he on?"
Yeah, exactly. He did when he said that. He was supposed to pop it and say he was supposed to. Yeah,
but it's Bobby Heenan, and Bobby Heenan hates Hulk Hogan.
That's true. That's true too.
Like historically, you know what I mean? Like it's canon all the way back to before WrestleMania 3. Like King Kong Bundy at WrestleMania 2. You know,
long-term storytelling, and that's the thing as well. You know, they kept even with Bobby Heenan's possibly wasn't. He probably was just messing with everybody's head, but you can't really keep that secret now. Now we got into a day where technology is so freaking good that you can go and hijack a story. So I don't think that this Hogan turn would have done so well now because it wouldn't have been it wouldn't have been like hidden as well as it was.
I don't know. I think they still I couldn't think of one right off the top of my head right now because you just put me on the spot, and I don't watch wrestling like that as much anymore.
Not bad.
That's all good. What I'm saying is I can't think of anything current.
Well, but CM Punk was a big CM Punk,
but I'm
CM
sure
Punk
there has been.
Well, CM Punk coming out and Survivor Series with him and that trouble backstage in AEW.
Yeah, but everybody was talking about it and it was suggested. Like,
well, I know, but who would have thought? That's like Chris Jericho. Everybody's like, oh, he's going back to WWE, but he swerved and went back to AEW. But that's the thing. The thing about it is now that, like I said, the information is out there. It's hard to have somebody say, hey, this is going to happen, and then like say, let's keep it in wraps. You know what I mean?
I get you with that.
Back then, we needed to look at in a newspaper to find anything out. So that goes to show you that we couldn't find anything out.
Or you had to wait until PWI came out.
Yes, exactly. And then you're like, why the hell?
Illustrated was like my wrestling Bible.
And the thing about it is, you remember when they did the top 50, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the top 50. A week later, that changes because everybody's different now. So it's like the information was so bedrock from the Flintstones type era, Right.
Yeah. But then again, things were different too in wrestling back then too, right? Because you weren't getting a lot of stuff going on weekly. You had your weekly shows, but there was more house shows, and their weekly shows until Raw, it wasn't live. Right. So before that, and Raw, we were kind of already in the internet age. So before that, before that time period, you were getting house shows and the same match was happening over and over.
Right.
With the same result. So it wasn't like we were missing out on much except for those weird random changes, which we've already covered a couple of them where the belt changes and a random house show.
Right.
But for the most part, you weren't missing a lot. But yeah, sometimes you had to wait until a magazine came out to know what happened the month before. And even the wrestling show itself would keep it not known sometimes.
Right. And I like it like that. I like to pop once in a while. I like to be like, I want to know why this happened or whatever. But like you said, sometimes house shows, I don't know why they did it. Sometimes you have Shawn Michaels with, let's say he won the Intercontinental Championship, and then on Monday Night Raw, he don't have the title. You're like, what the hell happened? What's the point?
Right.
So
right. But this was a different time, but still, I feel like the internet was around then. It was definitely around then. I don't think we were as into getting information out as quickly like that.
You couldn't. AOL was horrible. It took you like 20 hours to download a picture. You remember that? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be interested in getting information if I can't freaking have the page load up as much. And that's the thing about it. A lot of people these age, my
Your
kids,
mom
they're like,
picks the phone up and you get
yeah.
kicked off.
My kids don't get it. My kids don't get that. I've been through the stage of this AOL when it first came out in '95, and it was a struggle. I mean, it was a struggle. I mean, it was
The
crazy.
internet drops down. You're like, shut up.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then you're like, yeah.
I'd be in the middle of talking to a girl, and all of a sudden, someone would pick the phone up, and you're like, ah.
Oh no, I hate.
I'm gonna get back in that chat now.
Listen, yeah, right. Listen, now I know it's veering off, but think about this. That time was the best time for freaking catfishes. I hate it because you're like, this girl's good. This girl's kind of, but it's so the internet's so slow. You're like, is it really a girl? Is she really cute? You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of hard to, but that's a different subject, anyways.
Yeah, the
but,
internet was wild then, but this was 96. It kind of is. It's 1996, so 96 was weird. 96 was a weird time. In 96, we get Hulk Hogan starting this right here behind the NWO t-shirt. Yeah. My crown jewel. It's signed by Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Hulk Hogan.
Oh, look at that. That's awesome.
That's my crown jewel of my collection. But yeah, so we get that night, and that overshadows the whole entire show. And I don't want to let it overshadow this show. So we're going to get into this actual match, Rey Mysterio Jr., Psychosis, the opening show. And you know what's kind of funny? I thought about this after I watched it. We did our first watch-along last week. This should have been a watch-along. This was watch-along.
It was worthy. It was worthy. The only difference was Mania over whatever, but this right here, like I said, I don't care I don't think anybody doesn't like Rey Mysterio because Rey Mysterio been through it all. Like, I mean, he's been through adversary. I mean, he's got championships. He fought the best with him. He went hardcore. He went technical. He went luchador. I mean, this guy is amazing. I mean, you can't, and it's gonna be a sad day when he retires. I really think so.
I don't like Rey Mysterio.
See, of course you don't. But see, here's the kicker, though. You can't deny Rey Mysterio's status, though. You can't deny Rey Mysterio's.
And here's why. Let me explain to you why I don't like Rey Mysterio. Because I feel like Rey Mysterio should have retired a decade ago. Like,
but how many of them?
Stop holding on to it. Let the new guys do their thing. I know you love it, but you can be involved in another way.
Right.
You don't need to be in the ring anymore. And I've been saying that for 10 years.
But that's like Ric Flair. Ric Flair's like 95, and he's still not wrestling. He's still wrestling. I think he said he wants another match.
Nobody takes Ric Flair seriously.
Well, but I mean, listen, Ric Flair wants to get back. He wants to get back in that ring one more time. He said he's going to die. He said he's going to wrestle till he dies in that ring, and I believe him. I believe him.
We're gonna watch a movie about Ric Flair dying in the ring.
Wow, Ric Flair's last ride. Ric Flair's last ride 2. Ric Flair's last ride 3. So but I get what you're saying about.
Did Mysterio kill somebody in the ring?
Yes, he did. He's actually a murderer.
You're killing people in the ring, Jeff. Go retire.
He's actually a murderer. Ain't that crazy? Rey Mysterio is actually a murderer.
I'm saying, like, retire. That should tell you, man. Maybe I should hang it up. I've been going for a long time, and I just killed a dude. Maybe I should.
But that's not his fault, bro. That was not his fault. I'm gonna say that's not his fault. But Rey Mysterio, like I said, Rey Mysterio, at that time he was new. He's still new. He just came out and everything. But Psychosis, now that guy is very underrated. He's a very underrated. I would say wrestler because he's a luchador, but he's very, very underrated.
I've never been a big Psychosis fan.
He's underrated. Like he was under the radar.
Underrated, but this match, going back and watching this match, I was like, holy shit.
Exactly.
This is a good match.
He opened eyes. Like I would say about 45%. He had the match in hand. Like he was, but I mean, when he hit those moves, he hit them hard. He hit Rey Mysterio hard with the moves.
Some of those, just even the reversals, this was a good match because it was very fast paced.
Right.
Fast paced. Right. Like you didn't have a time where you were sitting waiting. And this is a great way to start a show. You got the fans going right off the rip with this match because it was a mile a minute, nonstop action. If you were getting to your seat, you probably stopped in the aisle and just stood and watched the match because it was going and you were like, oh shit, this is dope right now. It was a fire way to start a pay-per-view with something at the time that was kind of different. And these two guys could just go. They weren't botching.
No,
like, did
60
you
minutes.
see any botches in that?
No, no, I didn't. But sometimes they were going a little too fast to even like was that a botch? But these guys, for it to be a first show, which the first show you want it to be a bang. Well, sometimes you don't want it to be banger, but it also depends on the pay-per-view. But for a show like this could have easily been a main event on that show. I mean, without a doubt. If you're in this was a perfect way to introduce people to luchador, because it was not just their style. They did everything. I mean, they did submissions. They did a lot of technicals. They did a lot of power moves. They did a lot of high fly moves. I mean, it was just insane. It was insane.
Yeah, it was wild. They showed like the full load of what they could do. You saw that the ending for me with the whole sequence to the end. The whole sequence to the end. That was like, it was fire from the moment that it started, when he picked Ray up off the mat and he threw him off the ropes, and from there it started right there, and they just went back and forth. Ended up outside the ring, come back in the ring. He puts him up top. He goes to give him like a razor's edge off the top. He slides into a Hurricane Rana, and Hurricane Rana off the top rope and freaking gets the pin. I was like, holy shit.
And you see,
1996?
Yes. And that's the thing about it too, was it was a Hurricane Rana, but that Hurricane Rana, I believed, beat him. It wasn't like it wasn't like if somebody did let's say a body slam and then pin somebody, but that Hurricane Rana, man, that made me believe that fucking hurt, and it took him down, because just the way they did
top rope. Yeah, it was. And let me say this, I feel like a lot of people miss this part of it. Big ups to Psychosis, because he sold the fuck out of that move.
Yeah, he did. Oh, he did.
He sold that move so well.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
You know what I mean? Like, think about that. He went out there, because let's not pretend that wrestling is real.
Right.
Okay,
right.
Like,
it's real to me.
But we know that they work together. It's
right.
an art form. And I was like, trying to explain this to Sarah when I was watching it, because she was watching. She's like, I don't know how you get into that. And I said, no, you gotta understand. You gotta look at it like an art form. She's like, they're just beating each other up. I'm like, no,
it's a dance. It's really a dance if you think about it.
Right, it is. Sometimes I call these guys that do it now advanced acrobatics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like. This was something we didn't get in this match. Maybe once, and just barely, because they were moving so quick. There wasn't moments when they were waiting for their opponent to fly through the air to hit them.
No,
I can't stand that. I can't stand it. But this didn't have that at all. But I was explaining this out. I said you got to understand that they work together for some of these moves. Like, he didn't just flip him. Psychosis had to go with that. So Psychosis pushed off, and he pushed off at the right time and made that whole helped with the flip. Right. He helped with that flip, but he hits that mat, and he sells. Part of it is how you sell when you take a move. Right.
Look at what Shawn Michaels did to Hogan. That was, I mean, well, let's not go there. But yeah, I mean, think about it too. Like I said, as far as this Rey Mysterio versus Psychosis, it was, I mean, he was miles high bigger than him. And for them to sell a match like that, to me, that was insane. I mean, it was insane. And it's like, I mean, he's got to be over 6 feet tall, this guy.
Psychosis? I'll look it up. I don't have, I'm on my phone, so I can't.
I mean, I could be, it could be looking like because Rey Mysterio was that short, but let's see. I'll tell you right now.
Right.
But yeah, man, that match to me was
tiny.
Amazing. Like, especially the just the way they orchestrated it, was just
yeah. You gotta wonder how choreographed was it, because some things are choreographed, some things aren't really. They go out there and just let them do it. I feel like these two guys just worked so well together. They went out there and just freestyled the match.
Oh shoot! Okay. So Rey Mysterio is so small, so short, that Psychosis is 5'10".
Really?
But in that match, it did not look like it looked like freaking Rey Mysterio versus Kevin Nash. That's what it looked like. But he's only 5'10". He's only like 5'10". I was like, wow. Yeah, I was like, holy shit! I thought he, but yeah, he's only 5'10".
And this really is what probably put the Luchas on the map within the company, I would think. Give them the spot. I don't know how big they were on making sure that the Luchas were going to be a thing, but if one of two things happened, in my opinion. Either A, they saw this and it was like, holy shit, these guys are nasty. we're going to give them more TV time, or they knew what they had on their hands. I was like, we're going to open the show with this and get this crowd going wild, which is genius because that was a match to get people. I don't know what the rest of the card was because I didn't even bother looking at it. I had to rewind the ending of this match like 4 times.
Let me see. I'll tell you right now what the I'll get you right now what the card was.
It's wild because you forget this whole card because
I know the first and last one.
Hulk Hogan is the third man.
Bash at the Beach card. Okay. So we had, let's see. We had match card and results. Okay, we had actually, to be honest with you, that wasn't the main event.
That wasn't what
Hogan. No, the main event was the World Tag Team title. And it was the Steiner Brothers versus Harlem Heat.
See, we didn't remember that. I do remember that now that you say that because they were trying to get the show going afterwards, and it was so hard because the fans were so angry about what happened that they had to get that show back on track.
It was.
All right, what was the rest of the card? So we opened with this match,
okay,
right?
It opened with Rey Mysterio. Then it was Eddie Guerrero facing Steven Regal, which he beat him. Then we had the Rock and Roll Express versus Fire and Ice.
Okay, Scott Norton and Ice Train.
Yes, and Ice. Yep, and Ice Train. The Rock and Roll Express won. We had Bobby Walker versus Billy Kidman.
Who?
Bobby Walker beat Billy Kidman.
Who's Bobby Walker?
I don't have no clue who Bobby Walker is. You got me on that
one. Kidman, that's wild.
Yep.
I'll have to look up Bobby Walker later.
Oh, and we had. Oh, first of all, and we had the Carson City Silver Dollar match, which is John Tenta versus Big Bubba. And hold on. Yeah, that's it.
Carson City Silver Dollar match.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had 2 tag team matches to end the show. That's kind of wild.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, that was the card. And that's crazy. Like I said, that's crazy because those cards are not that bad. The cards are pretty good.
Yeah.
But the main event ended up in a disqualification. So that's kind of it. Yeah. It's kind of.
But I feel like, you know what though? Again, if you understand what you're doing that night, right?
Right.
The point of that night is Hulk Hogan being the third man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. I mean, you can tell it overshadowed it.
You put your best match to open the show. You make it a banger to start everything off. Because once Hulk Hogan comes out and becomes the third man, the rest of that show is shit. Nobody's going to care about the main event. You end the main event in a disqualification or a count out or some kind of fuck finish. And you resolve it somewhere else because you know the crowd isn't going to care jack shit about what happens in that main event.
No.
Who cares about Harlem Heat and the Steiner Brothers when Hulk Hogan just turned on the entire wrestling industry? I mean, come on.
Well, I don't understand why they didn't put that as the main event. To me, I don't understand why that didn't end the show. But
it's true.
But who knows? I mean, I'm not running away from nothing.
The title on the line for the main event.
Well, no, so some play like Undertaker. He used to be main event, and the World Championship used to be the. So I mean, I guess it all depends on how you do it. But I mean, there's some places that championships, even if you're the world champion.
I'm gonna say this might be really weird because I don't remember if it was introduced otherwise, and I have to go back and watch it. But I feel like Michael Buffer at the time had a championship match only contract.
Really?
I feel like because he did every championship match. Remember Halloween Havoc?
Yeah, he did all
Halloween Havoc. He did every championship match.
But how expensive was he though? You think?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
He did only championship matches, and he didn't do this tag team match. That's why he put the tag team championships in the main event. Well, you want Michael Buffer introducing your main event.
Well, I'm thinking that they had a plan. You know, we might be saying, oh, they could this, but I'm pretty sure that I don't know, they probably didn't know how it would be received. How Hogan, I mean, because think about it, he was since he's in the 80s, he was eat your vitamins and say your prayers, and then like all of a sudden this guy's talking about, doing, cutting corners to win a title or something, you know. So they didn't know how he was gonna receive it. Like think about it. If you put John Cena's,
I think they knew that the fans were gonna hate it. I feel like they were prepared for that.
well,
They were
yeah,
prepared for the fans to hate all of it, and I think they knew what was gonna come out of it. Like,
but it was also well received as well too. So think about it, you know.
Fair. I don't think that they expected the NWO to be as popular and be kind of fan favorite while being heels at the same time.
Right. Which, because that if you think about it, 96 is the time where heel and being a heel and being a face is disappearing slowly.
This is the beginning of everything changing.
Right. Because remember, Stone Cold.
The beginning of the change from that old era to the newer era. This is when you start getting these luchadors, right? You start getting these, even WWF is doing it, right? This is the same time where they're moving away from Hulk Hogan as their world champion and Ric Flair. I think Ric Flair in 1996 was world champion at this time.
Right.
So, granted, that doesn't prove my point, but it's right before he drops it. Or maybe no. I think he might have dropped it already in 96 at this time to Bret Hart.
Yeah, wasn't that the match? That's the match we just did. Yeah, so, and think about this. Stone Cold.
That whole changing point where the changing of the guard of what we're going to start seeing in wrestling. And this match here is in my opinion, is what started to give WCW the understanding. Despite the NWO is great. What the NWO becomes is amazing. Mm-hmm. But I think that this luchador movement and this wrestling here gives WCW more of a boost than it's credited with.
Right. Because like you said, changing the guard. It was starting to remove from people like doing headlocks and, putting them in a chokehold for 15 minutes, and it just went straight to fast pace where people are like, holy shit, I can't even see what's going on. Like people in the crowd are probably afraid. People in the crowd are probably like this, afraid to blink because they'll miss something. I mean,
right. And you weren't seeing this before. Like I said, this keeps up with today. We watched Randy Savage, Ricky Steamboat, and was like, oh man, like you don't have that. You have that here, and it's wild to see it in 1996 and know that it stands up. But I'm sure there's other luchador matches we could have watched back then and been like, oh yeah, no, that's not as good as this.
Right.
It's not as good as today's stuff, but this is a fucking great match.
It was a banger. And you got to take it to the fact, too, that it's Psychosis and Rey Mysterio. But like I said, Psychosis, I remember using Psychosis in freaking WCW versus NWO. He was actually awesome. But yeah, I mean, besides the point, he, you remember, then that opened the doors for La Parka. That opened the door for a lot of other luchadors that came out there. And
a lot of these guys came up after that. Like this match right here probably opened more doors than we know because it was so overshadowed by Hulk Hogan turning heel that people just don't realize that what this match probably did for the lucha guys in WCW as far as them gaining opportunities.
Exactly. I mean, think of it now. Now AAA is a stable now. AAA has their titles that are actually defended on stuff like so. You got to look back and see, hey, where does it start? And you got to give Rey Mysterio credit. He's got to be one of the people that actually made luchador be so entertaining, and make it worse.
That. I didn't always dislike Rey.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he did his thing. He's one of those guys. Like I don't like these tiny guys, and it's hard for me to suspend my ability of disbelief to believe some of these tiny little guys like Kofi Kingston with your caved in chest. I can't believe that you're world champion. But the most believable thing was when Brock Lesnar gave him like 75 F5s and beat him in 37 seconds.
And that's the thing. That's the thing that you gotta tip. You gotta tip your hat and say, hey, you gotta understand. Yeah, it's not real, but then you gotta understand. You gotta know where the line is because. Like that, having Brock Lesnar destroy Kofi Kingston, makes it real. But then you have somebody like Rey Mysterio beating John Cena on Monday Night Raw.
But
you know.
Ray was. That's the thing here's where I'll give credit. Like just because I don't like you doesn't mean I won't give you credit. Here's where I give Ray a lot of credit. Ray can go out there and make it believable.
Right.
When Ray beat JBL, that was believable.
Right.
Like he didn't go out there and win matches and you're like, oh, that was dumb. Didn't he beat Big Show one time?
He beat Big Show. He beat Batista.
Believable.
He beat
but
Batista.
Every time it was believable. Every time that Ray won a match that he shouldn't have won, you didn't look at it and go, oh, that was stupid.
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean? You were like, oh my God, that was dope. I can't believe he did that. And he won the match. That's fucking awesome.
Right. And he can hang with the best.
Made it believable.
He can hang with the best. And that's the thing about, like you said, that's the thing about wrestling. Wrestling, you gotta know, you gotta put your blinders on. You gotta just go with the flow with that, you know.
Listen, to an extent, like I said, like listen, wrestling is very much about your ability to suspend your ability of disbelief, right? And if I'm sounding like a nerd to people right now, like, what the fuck does that mean? It's your ability of disbelief. Like how much do you see before you're like, well, that's not believable? Wrestling's goal is to make you not have that reaction. It's to suspend that ability. It's to stop you from being able to say, that's not believable because it's doing so many other things in it that you look at it and in the moment you're like, yeah, that could happen.
Right. And you're telling me that you can believe that Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny is real, but you can't believe a 5 foot nothing guy can beat a 6'4", 350-pound muscular guy. You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
I mean, listen, the Easter Bunny's not real, but me and Santa are like this. That's my dude. Like, me and Santa are tight.
I hear you. And that's what I'm trying to say. Wrestling, if you think about it, is a folklore. It is. It's a folklore. I mean, think about it. I mean, it's got good versus evil. You know, it's got the undinkable, the David versus Goliath. They got all that stuff in it. You know, and if you allow yourself to be like, bro, this is fake. Bro, this sucks. Or bro, I can't believe that. You believe that punch that short dude did and knocked this guy Kevin Nash on his ass? If you allow yourself, like you're saying, to just believe, hey, you know, this is cool, and just go with the flow. You watch movies, just go with the flow.
But again, there's a line of that. There's a line of my ability to suspend my ability of disbelief. There's only so much you can do where I'm like, all right.
Right. Oh, no.
Come on
absolutely.
now.
But
if Danhausen came out next week and beat
cursed. You are cursed.
Roman Reigns wins the title and he gets cursed by Danhausen and beats him and becomes world champion.
Well, no. I mean, listen, they're drawing the line with that. You know, I mean, it's entertaining.
It's entertaining. My ability of disbelief at that point. I'm like, no,
but it's entertaining.
I can't. I just don't believe that now. Sorry, you broke it.
But listen, but you got to think it's entertaining how he came up to, I was gonna say Rey Mysterio, with Dominic Mysterio and said, "You cursed," and then he loses the title Penta, which kind of takes the strain off. Hey, why did he beat? Dominique, and it got people not upset because, like, holy shit, he got cursed. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So,
I hate Danhausen, though.
It seems to me you hate the people that are successful right now. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, I hate that guy. I'm not a Danhausen fan at all. And you know why I don't like Danhausen? Because Danhausen's not a wrestler, and people like stress him. You're such a great wrestler. Like Danhausen was on opponent,
he has some skill.
talking about how he's not a wrestler. Right. And he's never trained to be a wrestler, and I'm sure he's changed now and he's trained. But just from that, I'm like, I don't like the guy.
He was in the Indies, man. He's not bad. He's I mean, he's not. Will I say he's a main event star? No, but he's not bad at wrestling. He actually wrestles. The thing about Danhausen is he's R-Truth is actually passing the torch. We need somebody. We need that funny dude backstage. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough. All right, I'll give you that. But keep him away from like important shit and like big things like Orange Cassidy getting these pushes to titles. Darby Allin.
Right.
Like I'm not like Darby Allin's getting a shot at the world title.
right. And that's
Let
the
me
thing
be
too.
clear. Let me be very clear when I say this. I will kick Darby Allin's ass. All right? Like,
I don't know,
beat
man.
Darby Allin down. I don't give a
Listen.
shit how tough he is and his what. I will.
Hey, he got hit by a bus. He climbed Mount Everest and got lost. So I mean, I don't know. He's pretty. I mean, I don't know. He's defied the law of physics several times.
That's great. Let's see how much in a real fight. A real fight. Not a like choreograph, like a real fight.
You hear this, Darby Allin? If you watch
break
this,
your jaw. I will not stop it.
If Darby Allin happens to watch this,
he's world champion material.
If Darby Allin happens to watch this, you hear that? He said he's gonna break your jaw. Well, I mean, it might. It's in the internet. It's here forever now. You said you're gonna break his jaw, but anyway. So
I've said a lot of things about a lot of people. Listen, I spent an entire season at one point calling out John Cena.
Well, I can't see him, so how do you know? You can't see if he's around or nothing. John Cena could be a host right now. Who knows?
He never responded to me, fucking bitch.
How do you know? He could be sitting right next to you. You never know. But anyway, so here's the thing. Back to Danhausen and all that. To me, The Miz is he's great. To me, he's one of the greatest to do this, okay? I mean, prove me wrong, but he is one of the greatest to do this. Now, to have somebody like Miz, because he's not in the story, to sit back there and waste is blasphemy. So for him and Darby, you hear me? For him and Danhausen to be doing this little skit, it makes sense. You know what I mean?
I guess. Yeah,
it makes sense. I mean, that's what I think. That's what I think Danhausen is. He's a person that's going to, not be serious, but he gives people a chance on the card that you don't miss him. You see what I'm saying? And that takes out the this person not using him too much. He's getting wasted back there. But if he's doing little skits and you're like, oh shit, he still works there. I mean, I think he's a good utility man for that.
That's cool. Like I said, as long as you keep him in the right position, which I think WWE does a decent job with that, where they're not like throwing these guys. But I mean, there's still guys that like Javon Evans.
Yeah.
You don't do it for me. You don't do it for me.
Well, and that's the thing about WWE. For some reason, they have a habit of pushing people that nobody really likes, like or they like, but there's not a big popular fan. There's not a big fan base, and I don't know why they do it, but they keep doing that. You know what I'm saying?
It's wrestling nowadays, right? A lot of them, they want to go for the fringe fans, and if they can get the like fringe fans to do something, to like something, they're happy with it,
right?
Until they realize that doesn't sell, and then they're like, okay, I'm gonna get rid of you.
I mean, the one person
again and again, right. People are like, why the hell did you do that? And then they're like, all of a sudden that person disappears.
Right. But when it came to Roman Reigns, I mean, they pushed the crap out of him. I mean, they shoved him down his throat since the COVID era. And it wasn't working, and they kept doing it and doing it and doing it. Hey, it finally worked. I don't know if it was the thing that he said he had cancer and he beat it that helped the fact of him getting over, but not everybody could be Roman Reigns. Not everybody could be somebody that you could push to death and finally say, all right, we'll take him in.
Well, apparently, what I mean? Rey Mysterio can be pushed to death because that guy's still around. And this was
but listen, but Rey Mysterio,
we see him out here looking all young and spry and like flipping
he's
around
a
the
staple. Ring. Listen, Rey Mysterio's a staple, man. He's got to be there. Like, but if you notice, he's not there all the time. We see him every 4 months get in the ring.
Yeah, well, they're getting better at that. Good, retire. Well, go be the GM of AAA.
AAA, and I see that. That's what I see. I see him going to AAA and maybe announcing, maybe going out there and doing something, which is good. Which was bad for Alberto Del Rio because as soon as they acquired AAA, he's like, shit, now they can get rid of me.
Right.
But
listen, do you think Ray, if he gets into management or like backstage management, do you think he ever loses the mask?
Yeah, I do.
Because I feel like you shouldn't have, like, I'm gonna be real with you. Rey Mysterio shouldn't be wearing a mask.
What, you don't think so?
He lost the mask.
You're right. He did.
The mask years ago.
You're right.
He did a whole run with no mask, and then decided he was just gonna put it back on one day. It's like, what are you talking about? You Lucha, there's rules to this game, and you lost your mask. So why the hell are you still wearing a mask?
Are they rules? See, here's the thing. Here's the kicker. The kicker is if Rey Mysterio goes backstage in WWE and he's like in the role of what Jordan is and what in that role, yeah, I think he loses mask. But if he goes to AAA, I see him keeping it just because it's it's Luchador City.
That would make sense, I guess.
But you're right. I would love to. You know what? I would love to wear that. I mean, wear that. You hear me? Because you grab. I would love to see that. I would love to see. Like, I would like to do a segment like all these stipulations that should have happened. Why? Why are they? Why does it like work for 1 month and then they're doing it again? Like Kane, for instance. Remember Kane? He lost his match. I mean, he lost his mask. Was on a run, and then he went and put his mask back on.
Yep, they always do it.
Yeah. So
this one drives me the craziest though, because it's a lucha thing, and if you lose your mask, it's like it's an embarrassment, and you can never wear your mask again. And this guy wears his mask again. Look, this is Ray's mask. It's mine. It's not yours anymore. It's mine. No, like that.
Why does he look like El Generico?
I know, right? It does.
he looks like. But I see what's going on, Pete. What's going on? Thanks for joining. The thing about it is like
from Mexico. One of my really good friends, she went to Mexico and she came back from Mexico and she's like, Puffy, I got you a gift. And I was like, oh, you got me a shot glass, I bet, right?
Nice.
Nope, she got me a Rey Mysterio mask.
Which I'll tell you what, they actually sell those on the street.
Yeah.
Masks are sold on the street, like they sold like t-shirts. It's crazy, but it's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, Mysterio, a lot of stipulations are kind of weird because you got people that watch wrestling, then they stop watching wrestling for a couple of years, then they say, why is he wearing a mask? Didn't he lose it?
Right.
But that's just wrestling. That's just what it is.
I guess, yeah, because the rules like only count when they want them to count. And
yeah. Like how many times did they say you're fired and then they bring him back? Which what kill
crowd matches? They leave for a while, a year or two. They come back again, and now they're back. And
yeah, right, exactly. Like I don't care what anybody says. What killed kayfabe? The worst thing that killed kayfabe was the night that Vince McMahon blew up, and then he came back Monday. He was on Monday Night Raw. That to me killed Fabe. I mean, whoever was a fan that watched the shit, and then they were like, "Ooh, I like this. It looks real." And then they see Vince McMahon the next day on Raw going, "Well, and then you're like, did he just blow up in the damn car?
Yeah, but I mean, those are extenuating circumstances. I get why that happened.
Well, okay, we get it, but you got the people that are just getting into wrestling, and then they're like, "This is cool," and then all of a sudden it's like, "Boom! Oh shit, he's dead!" And the next day he's all fucking no. I was rolling with that.
That show was like, even that show they came out and they were like, because that was like that was Chris Benoit killing himself and his family.
But see, here's the thing. I think that's really why he hates Chris Benoit and wants to erase him for everything. I think that's the real reason.
He's like, you killed my story of me killing myself.
I don't forgive. I don't forget. You're fired for the rest of your life. I mean, like I said, okay. And I know we're varying off a little bit, but Vince McMahon. How old is this guy? He wants to try to get back into the wrestling business again. But how old is this guy? Like, I don't
know, but Rey Mysterio's still wrestling. How old is Rey Mysterio?
I think Rey Mysterio's in his 50s. I think he's in his 50s.
Retire, man.
What about Diamond Dallas Page? He started when he was 38 years old.
He's not wrestling anymore. He does yoga.
I know. But he can get in the ring if he wants to.
But he doesn't. Rey Mysterio, I get you could get in the ring if you want to. But don't wrestle. Get these other guys over. Like, be a manager to the LWO.
And I guess he's the Mexican Ric Flair. I guess he just don't want to quit. I mean,
damn it drives me nuts. I'm like, go away. We don't need you here.
But I think
getting just more fat and out of shape.
Like, no, you know what? It's funny how you said that. It's funny you said that because when this guy passed away, Bray Wyatt, I went to one of those things and I actually seen him he was in the ring. I think it was like a dark match. I'm not sure if he was in the match, but this dude looked out of shape, like he couldn't do anything. He went in. It took him enough to get over the rope, to get on the ropes, to get in the ring, and he was like, and I was like, damn, this guy. I remember when this guy was just fucking all over the place, and you just watching him, and he's just like,
yeah. What happens when you're in your 50s?
Yeah, I don't want to get there. I got 8 more years. I'll be 8 more years next week.
I got 2, and I already start to feel it sometimes. I'm like, oh shit, that's right. I am gonna be 50 soon. What the hell?
Let's think about a bit. They say you got 15 more years before you finally do unemployment and all that stuff. So You're getting there, buddy. You're getting there. Hey, you some places will give you discounts for being an old man. Who knows?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, one of my daughters is young enough that she still gets the kids menu sometimes. I'm like, hey, she gets the kid discount. So I still work that. I still work that out.
I try to.
But anyways, regardless of like you said, I know Rey Mysterio probably like grinds your gears because he still wants to wrestle.
Thing. He doesn't. I just wish you'd go away now. Like you've done your thing. You have a Hall of Fame career. Like what are you doing? You don't need. Listen, Rey Mysterio isn't a guy that has to prove anything.
Right.
He's done it all.
Right.
He's beaten everybody. He's been to the top of the mountain in a time where a guy his size wouldn't be at the top of the mountain. It's not a big deal now.
Right. Exactly.
Get Darby Allin in the main event. Of course, Rey Mysterio could be in the main event. That's not even a question.
Right.
What are you here for? Why are you doing it? You're just taking time away from these guys that are young, that are trying to come up, that are trying to earn their spots. And you got to go over on these guys and, no, go away. Just go away.
Okay,
Dominic the manager, be involved. Like I'm not saying go away from wrestling, but go away from being in the ring and do something else. Because no, I'm not saying you weren't great. Ray was great. Like this match, banger. If you tell me this match versus the Ricky Steamboat, Randy Savage, greatest of all time, this match.
Right. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Those are my two options. Right. This match, greatest match of all time. And that match is like the third greatest match. I think they rated it number 5 greatest match of all time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This match is better than that. I'm saying.
Listen,
I'm just saying.
Now, Rey Mysterio, I think they're probably when he's close to the edge of like actually retiring, I think they're going to have, which Dominic Mysterio don't need this match. Let's be honest. Dominic Mysterio is over in his own way. Okay. But I could see him go against. I can see Dominic Mysterio retiring Rey Mysterio, and I think they're gonna. That's what they're gonna do. You know. But yeah, he's right here. Right. Put that back on, please, real quick. Okay. He's right here. There's people that do need this. But here's the thing. The thing about it is these are these are the people that we watched, man. I mean, everybody that we watched is going. That's fine. You know,
but it has to happen. I mean, you can't.
It does.
Be 87 and be in the ring still, and I get you lose a piece of your childhood. To me, it's more of when they pass away. Like when Hulk Hogan died, I lost a big piece of my childhood right there.
Right.
There's other guys that when Ric Flair dies, it's going to be a big piece of my childhood gone. When Ray goes, but don't die in the ring, man. Go do something else in the business. You're like Ray's a talented guy.
Yes,
you could put him in these other spots. Like he can talk on the mic. Granted, you probably do want to keep his mask on because he looks like a kid.
He really does look like a kid. That's crazy.
Maybe he doesn't. Maybe like 30 years later, he looks older.
But I don't know. But the thing about it is like Rey Mysterio, like Brock Lesnar, for instance. Brock Lesnar is dominant. Like he was dominant his whole career. But right now, as he's older, I think he's better than he was back then. To me, I think
Brock?
I think as far as the way he carries himself, he's better on the mic. But I mean that's a hot take. It is a hot take because he had a lot of titles and stuff. But I think right now Brock Lesnar is better than he was when he first started.
Yeah.
So I mean that's a hot. I know everybody's be like, "Fuck, what are you kidding me?" He had titles back then, but it doesn't matter. Brock Lesnar don't need
titles. Doesn't make you better. It's the position
exactly.
They put you in.
He don't need time. This
Getting
guy
better at the craft. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. He was hotter then.
Yeah.
He was a bigger deal then, but his actual work better as he's gotten older.
Well, I think him putting Oba Fema over is the best thing. He's the best thing to do. Having him pass the torch to him. That's
gonna be
by the way,
if he beats Oba Femi.
He's not going to be. He's going to be Oba Femi in Mania. I think Oba Femi is going to beat him. I think SummerSlam is his last match. SummerSlam is his last match. There's going to be controversial.
Oba Femi. You think Brock beats Oba at Mania?
Yep.
And Oba beats him
retires him SummerSlam. I think there's something's going to happen that this match is not going to be like, you know how you be like, man, I don't know if you beat me or not. They'll go to another one because I think it's at Where is SummerSlam? I think SummerSlam is at Brock Lesnar's hometown.
I don't know.
But anyway, Brock Lesnar is rumored to retire at SummerSlam, and who better to retire him?
Gunther.
You know?
Gunther.
I don't know. Gunther, no.
That's his thing right now.
No, it is his thing. It is his thing. You're right. It is his thing. But I'd rather see the torch pass. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So that.
But then you should do that at Mania. It's the biggest spot to pass the torch.
You're right. No, you're right. It is the biggest spot. But
what does Brock have to win for? If Brock wins at
no,
Mania,
he don't. No, he don't have to win.
Selfish.
Hey, yeah, no, he don't have to win. But the thing about it is what if he loses? Then what's the point of him going to SummerSlam? There was even rumors saying that Brock's not supposed to lose till SummerSlam. He's supposed to win every match till SummerSlam. That was his deal. That's dumb. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think he deserves a run like that. I mean, when they called him, like,
then put him against Obafemi.
Right. I mean, to me, I thought they should have put him at Obafemi at SummerSlam. That's what I thought. But I don't see Gunther retiring. I don't see Gunther retiring because he's facing Seth Rollins, right? Yeah. Seth Rollins is gonna beat him. You know Seth Rollins is gonna beat him.
Seth Rollins ain't gonna beat him.
Seth Rollins is gonna beat him. I mean, dude, he retired John Cena. Who else he retired? AJ Styles. AJ Styles. Seth Rollins is gonna beat him. I'm telling you, Seth Rollins is gonna beat him. And if you have Seth Rollins beat him, why would you put Gunther to retire Brock Lesnar? It doesn't make sense.
He retired Goldberg too, by the way.
Goldberg, yeah.
Goldberg.
There you go. But why would you put him to retire Brock Lesnar if you just lost to Seth Rollins? See what I'm saying?
He's like our stat boy.
yeah. Keep back there and see if you get us our stats, man.
Thanks, stat boy. We needed that.
Yeah, we did need that. We was over here struggling, but seriously,
the thing is, like, Brock Lesnar is gonna fight at SummerSlam. He's gonna retire at SummerSlam, because it's his hometown.
Yeah,
Brock Lesnar is not losing at WrestleMania. The only reason they put him on the pay-per-view versus Oba is because they needed a big match for Brock, and that's the biggest match they could do because everybody else was busy.
Right.
Do they make it? I'm gonna throw something out there. I'm gonna make a prediction right now. Right here, and I know we don't really get into current wrestling all the time. I'm gonna make a prediction right now. That match ends in a fuck finish, and we don't get a winner at all.
Right, and that's what I say.
They get into a brawl and just start fighting, and it doesn't end up coming out to a finish. And here's why: it's not even really on Mania.
Right.
It's gonna be live on ESPN on the pre-show.
Right.
That match. You're telling me that they're gonna do this giant match and like a whole big thing about it. And it's going to be on the pre-show?
Nah, what's going to happen?
We're not going to get
what's going to happen? No, what's going to happen is they're going to fight before the bell rings, and they're going to throw the match out, and then SummerSlam is going to be like a steel cage or Hell in a Cell.
They're just going to beat the shit out of each other for like 10 minutes. It's going to be them fighting.
Yeah, they're going to be fighting. And people,
this is why y'all are not real bookers. Y'all were just E-Fed bookers. I'm just saying.
Well, this is why you don't book anymore, you scrub. Anyways, so what I'm saying is, Brock Lesnar and the crowd's gonna love it anyway. They're not gonna care who wins. This one, they just want to see it beat each other to death.
But look, I will say this: I agree with what Pete said here. Brock hasn't really done shit but bitch and complain, and the only reason why he got fucking millions, he's got millions because fucking Vince was sucking this motherfucker off. Basically.
No, I don't think.
I mean,
I don't agree. I don't agree.
You can't tell me anybody off.
You can't tell me.
I don't mean physically. I don't mean physically.
No, but you can't tell me he's not a staple. He's a staple, man. You can't tell me he's not.
But okay, my thing is like, what memorable match can you think of a Brock?
Bro, listen, he's the star attraction, bro. He comes in, does a
because he's a big ass motherfucker.
This is the biggest run. This is the most run he's had in years. I think this is the biggest run he had in years.
Brock versus Taker was a memorable match. Brock versus her angle. Was that the one where he broke his when he broke his neck doing that?
Yeah, when he did the 5-star shooting press. Yeah, the 5-star shooting press.
Yeah, I didn't say that. Like Brock's had some memorable matches when he squashed John Cena.
Oh, when he beat when he squashed Orton, Randy Orton, he squashed him. I mean, listen, Brock Lesnar, and that's the thing. A lot of people are like, oh, what has he? Listen, Brock Lesnar, he does his little spectacle. He does a little rivalry. What is it? He wrecks and leaves and goes home, and that's what he does. And he's been doing it for years. This, I think, right now might be his most run since he started, because he hasn't been on much. He hasn't been on much. He just comes in. He's like, oh, I'm gonna screw you up. I'm gonna beat you up, fuck you up, and then leave. That's what he does.
I wish Rey Mysterio would do one of these runs.
Well, can you say Rey Mysterio? Well, okay, Rey Mysterio would be a very spectacular run, but can you see Rey Mysterio's run as effective as Brock Lesnar's? I mean, think about it, Brock.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, man. Because that's when if you know that he's on a retirement run, that's when you put Rey over on everybody.
Right, but the
like
thing about
Rey
Brock
doesn't
Lesnar,
lose if Rey's retirement run were to start right before, like right now, he doesn't, and he's retiring at SummerSlam. Rey not losing, and you put him against people that are like they're like, oh, this is gonna be a guy that people will be like, oh, he's gonna beat him.
You put him against. I see what you're saying, but I don't.
Like you do something like they did with Frankie Kazarian,
right?
Where it's not a retirement run, but it's my next loss, I'm done.
Or they did that with Ric Flair for the 7,000
loss, and he just beats everyone.
When they did that with Ric Flair for the 19,000th time, that if he lost,
they probably did that with Ric Flair. But I mean, doing it with a guy like Rey because he's so small.
Oh yeah, but how many of those you have? How many stories you have? He's been using that story ever his whole career. Right. About being the small.
It's a great way to go out on it.
I mean, you're right. But I mean, I don't know. Like I said, to me, it might be a hot take, but to me, I think Brock Lesnar's run would be more effective than if Rey Mysterio did a run.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
He's gonna do it right. Like I think at the end of it, he doesn't lose to a big guy.
Who's he gonna lose to? Who would you? Dominique. You have him lose to his son.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think you have a son take him out?
No, you find one of these other little guys that you want to like really put over.
Who? Finn Balor?
It could be Finn. It could be
JD McDonough.
Lee. It could be Penta. There's a lot of.
Actually, Penta. He's getting over now, but I would in that situation probably have him put over Penta. I think I would, but
like that'd be wild. Penta retires Ray Jr. and they have like a big embrace in the middle of the ring for it. Right. You know what I mean? And
like you said, Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee's another one because him and Dragon Lee are close too. Oh yeah, I mean that would be.
There's guys that you could do it, and it becomes a whole big deal. It becomes a big deal. You make it for a title or something, and Ray wins the title on his run, and he drops the title to this guy that no one was expecting.
Well, it has to be Triple A. It has to be Triple A.
These ID guys that are coming up.
It has to be the Triple A title. It has to fight for the Triple A title.
It doesn't.
It should be because that put Rey Mysterio. Huh?
It doesn't have to be. It could be the U.S. title.
Two Mexicans fighting over U.S. title.
I mean, he's got a history with it dating back to before it was a WWF title and was WCW U.S. title.
That's true.
You know what I mean? It's something that he can claim history to and be like, I had this way back then, and once again I'm the U.S. champ.
Yeah,
and it's gonna get that. The haters are gonna hate him without him having being a heel, so you don't need heel heat.
Right.
I think it would be a good little story. Have Ray go on a little run, stop beating everyone, and be like, when I lose, I'm done. And no one can beat him. Beats little guys, beats big guys, beats everybody, and then he loses to someone that you wouldn't expect to beat him.
That'd be like when Brock Lesnar lost to when he beat the Undertaker, and everybody's like, "Holy shit!" You know what I'm saying?
Right. It would be like John Cena beating Kurt Angle.
Oh yeah.
Like you do something like that. You bring in some young guy, some like ID guy that comes up from the indies that you're like, we're gonna push. We love this kid. We're gonna push him.
I don't know. That'd be actually.
And he beats Ray and ends his career. He's like, I've been beating everyone who's gonna come out here and face me at SummerSlam, and this young kid shows up and just beats him, and everyone's like, oh my God, Rey Mysterio's career is over, and who's this kid that just beat him?
Well, yeah. I mean, speaking of Ray though, I think his his heel, him being a heel in WCW, that's kind of like, underrated as well. Because I think he was a good heel. I think Rey Mysterio was a good
People
heel.
don't talk about it. That's why, I sometimes mention him being on masks, and they're like, "No, when?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" When he was in the Filthy Animals,
he was a good heel. He was a good heel.
With the little devil ear,
exactly.
Yeah, man.
And the contacts that he had was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, Ray was on some shit then, which is, again, I don't get why he got to put his mask back on, because he should have a mask. He lost it and wrestled without a mask for months. I don't know if it was years, but months.
Right.
But I don't know. Listen, this I don't know what this did for Ray as far as putting him on. I'm not sure how many times people saw Ray before this match.
That's what I'm saying. That's true. Not a lot of people.
But I know if you watch this match, and when I say it's a forgotten gem, some people do remember it. When we talked about it being this match this week, people were like, "Oh, I remember that."
Right.
Because if you remember it, it's memorable, right?
Oh yeah.
But I feel like the vast majority didn't remember this match, and even though I remembered it, I didn't remember it fully.
But you remember that. But you remember the NWO fully. You remember when Hogan came on to that. You could probably do that play by play. You could probably be like, "Hey, I remember exactly what happened. I remember what turnbuckle he was on. Everything. I can remember the whole whole setup. That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I'm like picturing like certain things hitting them.
Yeah. Freaking a snot rag.
Man, the amount of stuff that was piled into that ring.
That's crazy. And these are people that these people really felt like they were torn. They were pissed. They were like, this guy just like he traded us. What and they felt it, bro. And that's what you want.
This wasn't gonna work. This wasn't gonna work. They weren't planned. They didn't tell the people, "Hey, when you see who the third man is, throw stuff in the ring." Like, that wasn't told to people. People were throwing things. You can go listen to these guys talking about it, right? They were throwing like full beers.
Right.
Some people threw full beers at them. I want to say one of them said that they got hit with like a almost a full beer.
Yeah, it was like all these. I could only imagine all these fans would be like, "It was real to me. It was real to me, son of a bitch." It's like they felt like he literally, like, I don't know, he literally hated him. But this right here, he said this match was a gem. I think him losing the mask was to reinvent him, but the fans didn't react the same with him. I don't know. Like I said, him being on the Filthy Animals, to me that was a good run. People don't talk about it, like you said.
But and I agree with that whole idea. It was to reinvent him, but there's rules to lucha, and if you lose a match and you lose your mask, you lose your mask forever. Your mask forever. You can't go back to your mask. That's it. I mean, I guess you could be like, "Well, it didn't happen in AAA. It didn't happen under lucha rules," but no, man, you lost your mask. Your mask is gone. You can't put it back on later because your reinventing didn't work out the way you wanted it to. Then that's why I think he should have retired.
Right. he's like, we're not gonna hear the end of this. You're gonna be like, he needs to retire. He just needs to retire. I mean, like I said, I'm sure he's on his way out. I'm pretty sure he's the next. Well, it's gonna be Brock Lesnar, and then it's gonna probably be him, and then Randy Orton. But I'm pretty sure Randy Orton's gonna get a run with the title before he retires. I'm pretty sure. So, for them to build a match like this and him lose. That just makes no sense. I mean, think about it. Listen, Cody Rhodes. I love Cody Rhodes because he's a man of the game. He's a fan favorite. He does really good. But you gotta look at the bright side, man. Him being a champion is not doing anything.
It's boring.
I mean, he finished. That's the thing. He's the guy. Finished his story. Did what he had to do. Everything was good. Don't put the title on him no more. He can do other stuff. He don't need a title no more. And that's the whole situation.
That's the problem with finishing your story,
right?
Because the story's done. When the story's done, close the book. I'm done. On to something new. Finishing your story didn't do what you wanted it to do because you finished the story. We're done. We're not here.
Exactly.
Story's over. Like, what are we doing here? I'm just saying. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. He said, I agree, but there are circumstances where if they lose their mask, they adapt new mask and persona.
Yeah, but he didn't adopt the new mask or persona. He is Rey Mysterio, and he wears the same mask. Maybe a little different of a variation, but it's not that different than what he was wearing then. Like, you wouldn't look at an old Rey Mysterio mask and be like, who's this guy? You're like, oh, look at his mask. It's Rey Mysterio. That's his mask style.
Well, think about it. He's in America. They're in America. They're doing they're in American wrestling. We don't know the culture as much as we should. So they're like, you know what?
Talked about it all the time in WCW.
Know, but you know
that's
what?
The thing. Like WCW embraced the whole lucha idea and pushed it after this and talked about, hey, this is what happens. Oh, if you lose your like, I don't know it because I watched AAA. I didn't watch AAA back then. I understand the rules of lucha and your masks because of WCW and because of them explaining it and talking about it when they would have matches like that, right? So they brought the knowledge to us as fans and then slapped us in the face and was like, yeah, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to let him put his mask back on.
Because that's the thing, because fans are fickle, man. They're like, you know what? And then that's how fans work. We remember one thing one day and we forget it the next.
I don't forget. I'm like a
I'm just saying.
Elephant doesn't forget.
I'm talking about us. I'm talking about people. There's people that just, remember, like I said, wrestling is kind of like pooling emotions. Wrestling is like it messes with you. You're like, yo, is this real? Is this fake? What the hell? Like now they're making. I mean, you can't tell what a work is anymore. A lot of times you're like, is this a work or what? And a lot of people also say, oh, wrestling, they do a lot more mistakes and stuff now. You got to remember, now it's live on the go. Back then they recorded it. So back then it was different. You can edit shit out.
Not everything. Like, this was live. You didn't see bot. Like I said,
no, that's what I'm saying. No, yeah,
this.
That's why I say this was amazing. This match was
like, I feel like there was one botch that I can think of. Ray flew over the top rope, and I feel like he was coming hot, and Psychosis kind of shifted a little bit, and he caught him on his shoulder, but his legs hit the railing. And even Mike today said it. He's like, oh, I think Ray caught the brunt of that. And he hit his legs. The announce team did a great job of covering up botches and just making it be like, yeah, that's what fucking happened. But I feel like that was a botch, and that was supposed to be a cleaner hit to Psychosis because they didn't sell Ray being injured from that.
Well, now you got to think about this too. I mean, the finisher was so clean. And that had to be one of the hardest moves that I've seen that night. The way he hit that, and that's why.
If you watch an NXT show or an AEW show, you would probably still see somebody botch that move today.
Oh, exactly. I mean, it was so clean. It was just ridiculous how clean it was. But you like to see that move perfected, and then you go back to the maybe botch about him, diving into. Was it really a botch? Maybe it was supposed to be sold like that. Who knows? We can't tell because of what they've done. So it's like
that part. We can't tell because they do such a good job of covering it and moving quickly. They're fast paced. Even if there was a botch, you don't see it because they just kept going and they didn't lose a step from it. And a lot of guys today, you lose that. They'll botch and you see them stop because now they got to go back and hit their spot because this is their spot and they got to get their spot in. Spot monkeys. Bunch of spot monkeys.
I love it. I love it.
But I'm saying though, but it is what it is. And you didn't see that here in this match. This match stands the test of time because you can put it up against 90% of the matches today, maybe even I dare to say 97% of the matches today. Put this match against it.
Both statement cotton.
It stands strong. I'm not saying it beats every match that you like. Every single match, this match is better than it, but it stands strong against 97% of matches today. Where you can be like, oh yeah, this is a good call between these two matches. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, I get it. But yeah, like I said, I enjoyed watching this match. I enjoyed everything that that match stand for. Like I said, I thought Psychosis was over 6 feet tall. Now I guess it was the imagery or whatever. But even 5'10", Psychosis being 5'10", and him doing what he did, especially with Ray,
What is Ray, like 5'3"? What's he's like?
I have no. Let me check right now because didn't he make him look like it was over? He was like 9 inches tall, more than that over there.
Yeah, he was so much.
It was insane.
Ray's
Which
like,
like I said, it made the match better. To me, it made the match better because you see this, like, how's Rey Mysterio hitting all these spots, being that much shorter than him, shows you how amazing.
And it made, even when Psychosis was hitting some of these spots, it like he seemed like a bigger guy hitting these moves.
See, that makes no sense. It says Ray's 5'6". I don't believe that. Because the way they were standing at each other, and if that dude's 5'10" and Ray's 5'6", it was too much of a height difference.
Well, maybe the mask and hair,
I don't know,
makes it.
It says right here. It says right here. It says some fan discussion estimates suggest his actual height is made closer to 5'2" to 5'4". That's more believable. That's more believable.
There we go.
That's more believable. Sense. I mean, yeah. you know how it is though. No matter what sport you play, they build you higher than what you are. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So
I am a wrestling ring announcer.
Exactly. So you probably like
the times, the amount of times that I'm in the ring. So I have a book. I don't know what my exact book is, but I'll show you a reasonable facsimile of my book. It's a book like this. It's this. It's not this exact book, but it's the same. It's the exact book as this. You like that little shameless plug for my company too?
Yeah.
But what is this book though? And I keep everybody when I ring announce you, I put you in the book. I have pages alphabetically. So now if you're booked on a show, I get the card ahead of time, and I sit at home and I open up and I write. I make little like. Do I have any of the cards over here? No. Like little
index cards.
Yeah, index cards. And I make index cards for my matches.
Right.
And whatever and I let people know. I'm like, listen, your first time that I announce you, I'm like, all right, so your information I put on this card is gonna go in this book. If you're at a show and you see me ring announcing and I don't come up to you, whatever you told me that's in this book is how I'm announcing you. So if you want to be announced differently, you better tell me, because what's in this book is who you are and your weight and everything. So, I keep it in there. And you know how many times people will be like, he is not 210 pounds.
Right. Right. You're like, this guy gained weight and shit. You're like walking in there, he's like, wait, 210 pounds when he's like 335. And you're like, that's the biggest 210 pounds this guy can carry himself, bro. I'm telling you.
So one of the guys that the owner of my company, Davey Cash, he used to actually wrestle for Ring of Honor. His son, Cash Money, he got wicked in shape and lost money. Lost weight, not money. I think he was billed at 210, and now he's probably like $185. Oh, wow. $190.
Is he still billed at 210?
For the longest time, I was reading 205. And he just would give me a look. And then finally one day I changed it just on my own because it was like, he's got to be like $185. I'm just going to change it to 185 because I feel like he's never going to say anything to me.
Right.
He's just going to look at me weird when I say his fucking weight. But you didn't tell me. It's in my book. That's what it is.
Bro, what you should have done was, man, you could have used that as a little story every time he was in the ring. 185. The next time 192, and he'd be like, "What the hell?" That'd be a little inside joke between y'all two. I would have done. I'd be like, weighing 350 pounds. What the? I just messed with him.
That'd be
funny. But yeah,
we got a guy is Bub Juckett. He's like a hick from this town over here, Freetown. We call the Freetown guys Juckets, and that's what we call the hillbillies up here. Mm-hmm. And he always gives me a random weight in something farm related. Like weighing in at one good-sized calf.
One half a cow. No, but like, okay, what about
4 tractor tires?
Weighing at a good old barnside goat and
it's awesome.
But what was that guy in wrestling? I forget which program it was, but they always asked. He always had a different weight. Like he was it Crash Holly? Crash Holly came in at like he said it was like 300 pounds or something.
Something like that. Yeah,
I think it was Crash Holly. Yeah,
Crash. Scale with him was Crash Holly. Yeah.
He said, he's like, I'm 400 pounds of muscle. But
I feel like that was a trope though, because you had guys that did that. Remember? I don't know if you remember Playboy Buddy Rose.
Buddy Rose.
And he had the blow away diet or weight loss program where he put powder on himself and put a fan on and said he blew away all his weight and he was still fat and out of shape. But he said he was like a lean, mean 175 pounds. Look that up. If you don't remember that, look that up. Playboy Buddy Rose.
Buddy Rose, look it up.
He was in WWF for a little while. That was his gimmick, and he would have this like powder that he would put over himself, and he'd turn a fan on and have the fan blow it away. He's like, just blow away all of the weight.
You're literally watching the weight fall off.
and he didn't lose any weight at all. He just would come out and say, build at a lean, mean 175 pounds.
And that's the thing. You're an announcer, so you know. You see these guys, they're like say Rey Mysterio, he's 185 for years. Like he weighed. I mean, you know his weight fluctuates. I'm sure, but
yeah, I mean,
like I said, I think all that's exaggerated.
Everyone has people have gimmick weights. Like they don't really.
I think that's what exaggerated. Like the height and the weight is all exaggerated.
Yeah. I mean, there's a tag team. There's a tag team who their weight's 420 pounds combined. It's not their weight. Like I have them both in my book at their separate weights, and they do not weigh 420 pounds. But and when they're in a tag team, they weigh in a total combined weight of 420 pounds. It's 420.
That's funny, and I get it now. I get it why they say that, but yeah. But anyways, I had fun talking about this match.
This was a great match. Listen, if you guys didn't watch this match, I highly suggest go watch it. You can Google it. You can look it up on YouTube, and you can find it on YouTube. I don't think the network. I don't think they have it anymore because there's not network stuff, and I don't know. Do they have WCW pay-per-views on Netflix?
They should. I'm gonna check it out because I think they should because that's part of WWE.
But I don't know if they have everything. You might have to go to like the WWE YouTube. Anything that's not on there, I think you can find on WWE YouTube. But if you just go into YouTube and search for Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Psychosis, I literally opened my Fire Stick and said Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Psychosis, and it came right up.
Nice.
So it's easy to find. It's about a 15 minute and 16 seconds. The match itself, without intros or anything. Good watch. It's a worthy 15 minutes. But yeah, this was a forgotten gem. I like forgotten gems. We'll have another one in 4 weeks. But before that, we've got next week's show lined up. Controversy Autopsy.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to break down something that we remember as being shit. And we're going to find out, was it shit? Or was it chicken shit? Or was it chicken salad?
Yeah.
And what we're going to talk about next week, I think you're excited about this one.
I am excited.
The fake Diesel and the fake Razor Ramon.
That's awesome. And I'm not going to discuss what I want to say about it, but I have a feeling it was done on purpose the way they booked it. But hey, we'll talk about that.
Well, it was a slap in the face. We know it was definitely a slap in the face, right? Yeah. But the way it was booked, it made people feel like it was real. They were really coming back. So, and it's one of those things that we remember as falling on its face.
Right.
People were excited for it. And it's funny because this is coming off of our last Controversy Autopsy where we did the fake Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about fake shit. A lot of fake shit that went on in wrestling, and we're gonna break that down. So it's not a single match. So if you guys want to kind of follow up on it and keep up with what the episode is, it's not a single match. You're just gonna go look at that time period. It's around this time. It was in '96 because it was right after these guys took off and went to the NWO, went over to WCW and were forming the NWO, that they brought back the fake Diesel and fake Razor. So you can go back and look it up and you'll see when they show, just probably Google it. I bet you if you Google it, it'll give you a timeline of all this stuff that they did. I'm going to go back and do a lot of research on exactly how it played out. see what I can find about what people have said about it. And we're going to really break it down. We're going to talk about what the plan was initially, why it failed when it did, if it could have been, if there was another way to do it that would have been better, or if it was really good and we just kind of didn't see how good it was. Because sometimes that happens. I feel like.
I mean, we could have been pissed off. Hey, what's going on, guys? It could have been. Right. We could have been pissed off and so mad at of what they did that we didn't give it a chance.
Right.
So I mean, that could have been a big factor.
Right. Absolutely. But now that's it. That's the show. I'm gonna give a shout out to the Promoverse, EMP Network on the hat. Check us out. We got a good show coming out tomorrow. If you're listening to this with the time right now, by the time you guys hear it, it'll be tonight. Yeah. EMP Network. But you can go watch it even if you miss it. You can watch it afterwards. If you listen to this on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, go check it out. We're on every 2 weeks, so you can watch it and then catch the next one in 2 weeks live. Gonna be a fun show. We got some cool stuff going on. Other than that, you got anything you want to tell the people before we get the hell out of here?
Well, like I said, just our shows are very you like the topics and stuff like that. It's awesome. Now the EMP Network, I got a big announcement Thursday pertaining to EMP Network. A lot of people are getting to know what we do, and it's getting bigger, which is awesome. If you don't like, I know there's people that watch this. It takes 5 seconds to subscribe. So if you just have time, like, subscribe, watch the product. It's pretty interesting. And like, as what Frankie said, check us out. And that's all I got to say.
And with that, I want to shout out again, Eric Stevens, Mega Ran, for our theme song, Smarks. Check them out. You can find that song in its entirety on Spotify, which is also where you can find this podcast. If you're not listening to it on Spotify, we are available on Spotify and almost every other podcast space you can find. But we're live here Tuesday nights. We don't set a time. We kind of just come on and get this done whenever we can do it. And we just enjoy the people that can come join us. But that's about it. This has been a great show. Go watch this match if you didn't see it, and get ready for next week. Bring your thoughts, bring your questions, bring your opinions, because next week we're going to talk about the fake Razor and the fake Diesel. Did it suck? Was it good? And we just didn't get it? And if it did suck, what could they have done to make it better? Until then, for El Guapo, I'm your boy Sean Puff, and this has been Smarks, Spotmonkeys, and SuperKicks.
I love it.
Peace.
See you later.
Did the editor fall asleep?
I think so. See ya.
The Smarks in here, the Smarks in here, yeah. What you about to do before you do it. Say what? I telegraphed your every move, and now you're just the coolest. Time to get into it. Moving to the music. The Smarks in here, the Smarks in here, yeah.
I'm a smart mark, yeah, I'm a smarky smart. I wrestle talk with Ollie Davis over Hummer cards. We're pin cards, subject to change, reigning the superstars. I got a love-hate relationship with pro wrestling. I'm a smart mark, yeah, I'm a smarky smart. I wrestle talk with Ollie Davis over Hummer cards. We're pin cards, subject to change, reigning the superstars. I got a love-hate relationship with pro wrestling.
Oh, dear.
What are you all daring about?